By 1400, Europe wasn't recovering. It was crumbling. 1 billion hungry souls, fields stripped bare, cities choking on their own waste. This was the true plague. Empires don't fall to invaders here. They fracture under the sheer weight of starvation, devoured by the blade of neighbor against neighbor. The Malthusian trap, sprung early, crushes all hope. But none of this was supposed to happen. It all started with one twist of fate in 1347. Or rather, the lack of one. In 1347, the Golden Horde lays siege to Kaffa, but no infected bodies are hurled over the walls. Genoese trading ships sail, their holds free from the stowaway flee. The devastating contagion withers in isolated pockets, unable to jump the Mediterranean. The European mainland remains blissfully unaware, untouched. Europe, spared its greatest demographic disaster, continues its relentless expansion. Forests recede. New villages sprout like mushrooms after rain. But prosperity is a fleeting dream. The feudal system strains under the weight of burgeoning numbers. More mouths to feed, less land to go around. Famine, once an occasional visitor, becomes a constant gnawing specter. Local crop failures swiftly escalate into regional catastrophes, bodies piling high. Peasant revolts erupt with terrifying frequency and scale, fueled not just by injustice, but by the raw, desperate hunger for survival itself. Monarchs and nobles, overwhelmed, respond with brutal force. Cycles of suppression and rebellion become the grim rhythm of European life. The insatiable demand for timber, fuel, and arable land accelerates deforestation. Vast ancient forests, once Europe's lungs, are stripped bare. Cities become sprawling, disease-ridden labyrinths. Without the Black Death's cleansing fire, lesser contagions run rampant, though none achieve its devastating scale. Innovation stagnates. Why invest in labor-saving devices when human hands are cheaper than ever and infinitely abundant? Religious zeal intensifies, not out of hope, but out of desperate fear. Heresy hunts, witch trials, and pogroms become chillingly common. Without the great culling, there is no labor shortage, no upward mobility. The rigid social hierarchy of feudalism solidifies into an unbreakable caste system. The Renaissance, that flourishing of art and intellect, never ignites. No spare wealth, no patronage for beauty, only grim utility. Exploration still beckons, but it's driven by desperate necessity. New World voyages are not for gold or glory, but for land, for food, for survival. European expansion becomes a genocidal wave, driven by Malthusian pressure. Indigenous populations face annihilation, not just conquest. Constant localized wars over every scrap of arable land and every fresh water source become the norm. Europe is a patchwork of starving, warring states. Ironically, technology for war advances rapidly out of sheer necessity. Sieges are more efficient, weapons more deadly, while civilian life remains primitive. The value of human life itself plummets. Mass casualties from war or famine are commonplace, almost expected, mere statistics in a crowded world. The Enlightenment, born from an era of questioning and relative stability, is delayed indefinitely. Or perhaps it never arrives at all, lost in the shadows. The very air carries the stench of too many bodies, too much burning, too little clean water. A world perpetually on edge, where every dawn brings new struggle. What seemed like a blessing, the absence of the plague, becomes an unyielding curse. A slow-motion catastrophe, far more pervasive. The ghost of Malthus hovers over this blighted continent, a grim prophet, his dire warnings a horrifying, inescapable reality. Perhaps the true tragedy isn't always what's taken from us, but what's never removed. If this glimpse into a darker path sparked a question in your own quiet thoughts, then consider exploring more forgotten histories with us.